Hello and welcome back to another video on my Hyundai i30N. Today in this video I'm going to be fitting the rear spats. These are the Maxton Design V3 I believe. It's pretty simple, it comes with its own instructions. It's just 4 bolts, 4 washers and 4 nuts. If you want to see how easy it is, stay tuned and I'll see you very shortly. Today we're going to be fitting the EBC big brake kit on my Hyundai i30N. Here I'm going to be fitting the rear spats. So I've got the right hand side in with all the bolts. I haven't done them up yet, and the way I did it is I've put the car on ramps on both sides. You don't really need that much clearance, it's only enough to get a drill up underneath the car. So I took the wheel arch out. It's just 4 screws that go up on the inside there. You can just about get in with the wheel still on. It might be easier if you take the wheel off, it's entirely up to you. And then underneath, if you can see in through there, there's 4 little pop clips on there, like the same that's on the front of the car, and you just get a little flathead screwdriver, pop the little clip down, and then this whole thing comes out. I'm going to try on the other side while I'm doing it in the video now to see if we can do it just by taking that bottom bit off, because it will be a lot easier than taking the wheel arch out as well. You can literally get your hand up in like that and then round the back to put the nut and the washer on the top. So let's see if we can do that without taking the wheel arch on the other side. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 little pop clips. So you literally just get a little flathead in the little groove and pop it out. Just twist a little flathead. It's very easy to do. You can see it's come away already, so that's a little gap, and you can just put your hand up underneath like that. So the rear spat sits along here, and then put your hand up like that on the inside once you've drilled through the holes, and then you can just put the washer and the nut on the other side. So we're going to offer it up. The little fin at the side, that's where it's supposed to go, it's not the other way around. So it should be flush on both sides. So it should be sitting like that, flush, and sitting like that, flush. Obviously it's a bit difficult to try and get the angles and stuff while I'm laying on the floor with one hand, but you get the gist. It's supposed to be flush on both sides, and there's a little groove just going along there where you can see it's like supposed to sit flush on that flat bit there. So that's basically how it's supposed to sit. On the other side you've got 2 little dimples, one there and one there. That's what I used for the first 2 holes, and then I went further on the outside inside here and further on the outside here, so that you've got an even spread, so it should sit flat all the way across, and when you're pulling the bolts in it should sit pretty tight all the way along. So there and there, so that's where I'm going to drill the holes, and then we offer it up to the underside of the car, drill through those holes again once it's sitting flush, and then that will give you the markers of where you then finally drill the holes through, and then you can put the bolts in. So let's start with the 2 dimple holes. Just get rid of the excess crap around the outside. You can get a bit of sandpaper, just careful not to go past the edge that you're going to see. Just make sure it's on the bit that's on the underside. just to make it nice and flush so it sits nice and tight on the inside of the car. Just get the same on the inside. And do the other dimple hole now. So the drill bit I'm using for this particular kit is a 6mm, and you don't want to put too much pressure on, you just want to leave the weight of the drill and it'll eventually just cut through with the drill bit. If you end up putting too much pressure, I don't know if it would end up cracking it or damage it in any sort of way, or you'd slip or anything like that, so just take your time with it and just drill the hole nice and smooth. So I don't know if you want to pause this video now, but that's where I've drilled the holes, and it seemed to work pretty well on the other side. So you just got the 2 dimple holes either side, and then in line with that one that will be on the back of the car, and then that one on the inside, just so that it all sits nice and flush. So we can now put it up, drill the holes through those holes into the bottom of the car, and then go from there. So we're just going to offer it up again and just feel on both sides with both hands. When you can feel that it's flush, you run your finger across there. Obviously the camera angle probably won't make it look like it's flush, but you can feel it with your fingers that it's made perfectly to sit how it's supposed to sit. So just hold it still with one hand. It's a bit fiddly, just try and do it. So get your drill in position, make sure it hasn't moved on either side. So with these nuts, bolts and washers, the actual bolt itself has almost got like its own washer. It's quite a wide head on it. So I did the bolt up through the splitter, and then holding it with one hand, putting the other hand up into the plastics like I showed you earlier, washer on first, and then the nut with the blue facing upwards, that's like a nylock, and then just wind all 4 on loosely, and then make sure that it's all sitting straight, and then you can just run a bead of tiger seal into the centre so that when you press it up it will just kind of hold it a little bit tighter and make sure it doesn't fall off, hopefully, in theory. So we can do that bit now. And with the bolt is a 4mm Allen key, so we've got an extension and a ratchet, and the nut is a 10mm, so I can get a 10mm spanner up into that little gap there, hold it on the top while I tighten the bolt up from the underneath. So lastly, we can just put the plastics back. So this little cover here goes underneath the wheel arch liner and above where the rear bumper is. And you'll see you can just line the holes up. So with these little clips, just pull this little tab all the way out, so there's a big space there, and then you're just pinching those together to go through the hole. So you just work the little legs up into the hole and then just push the clip up into it. So that's the finished product. So as it turns out, we didn't have to take the arch liner out, so you can see how it's flush there, and it's just ever so slightly on the inside, but I don't think it's going to be making a difference. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.